Subscribing to The Observer on YouTube couldn't be easier, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that. First, navigate to www.youtube.com/TheObserverNJ. Once you get there, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button, click the down arrow and then all. And that's it. You're subscribed, and now anytime The Observer is live, you will be notified. Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 21st day of October in the year 2025. Sure hope you're enjoying your Tuesdays, no matter where it is you are in the country. Here in the Northeast, 64 degrees. Very nice day out there today, so I hope you're enjoying this very crisp autumn-like weather today. And as you do each and every Tuesday, welcome me into your homes so that I can bring you this week's news. And before I get to all of the things that I'm going to put up on the screen, I do want to say one thing about the Girl Scouts Tricky Tray on Saturday that just passed. It was such an incredible night. There were so many people there, you can't even believe it. There had to be, 350 people at least at this Tricky Tray. And Mary Beth Kennedy, who puts this together every other year, does such a great job. I don't know how or if she sleeps during the course of the week because she's constantly working on something. And she is often backed up by her husband, Ed, daughter, Faith, and soon-to-be son-in-law, CJ, and Melanie Ryan, and a whole bunch of other people who help out during the course of the year to get everything prepared for the day. So this is over at the cafeteria at Kearney High School, and Mary Beth just did a phenomenal job. I had a great time, and I wanted to make sure to recognize her for all the hard work that she puts into it. And because they raise as much money as they do, they're able to take the girls to different places. In fact, you may remember last year, they took the girls to Washington, D.C., which is always a nice trip. And this year, next summer, as we get into the summer, since it'll be the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, the plan is to take the girls to Boston. And because of all the money raised and the generosity of the people of Kearney and its local neighbors, the kids don't have to pay a penny to go. And it's just always a great experience for all of the Girl Scouts. So to Mary Beth, hats off. You did a phenomenal job, and thank you for making it such a fun day for all of us who were in attendance. Now, as we move on, I want to take a look at the chat room real quick, and I see my dear friend Manny Ventoso is here with us. Good afternoon, Manny Ventoso Jr. The Devils are 4-1, playing some of the best hockey that I've seen in a couple of years. Let's hope they continue this streak. Lisa Fiorenzo is in the other room, and she is watching on her computer, trying not to make me laugh, which she often does during a broadcast. We'll see what happens and if she capitulates and does something crazy, but we'll see what happens any moment. Jenny Paz is also here with us. Jenny is right. Mary Beth did an amazing job setting everything up. And you talk about all these great organizers right here. Here's another one in Jenny Paz, who, of course, is in charge of the Kearney Public School Uniform Exchange and now Project Graduation. So we talk about everybody who just knows what to do and do it well. Pat Long, my dear friend, is here as well. She's probably walking the streets of Kearney right now, delivering your mail. Pat, good to see you. And Bill Dow is also here with us, the president of the state chapter of the Elks. Billy, good to see you as always. Thank you for popping in as you do so often. It's always good to see you as well. And to anybody who may be hiding in the background, sometimes they say lurkers, but that has a creepy connotation. We don't want that. We thank you for being here as well, whether you are in Kearney, Jersey City, Newark, no matter where it is you are. We are very, very grateful. Now, I've been putting this up on the screen for the last couple of weeks, but this is the last time I'm going to be able to do this because the Mystical World Harrison Cancer League event is coming up on the 26th of October. And Addie Boyd works to get this day, and she tells me that the sales of tickets are a little bit slow. And so I just wanted to remind you one more time, if you could and you're interested, please, please uh, freeze the frame right now and take down the information. And you can pay using Venmo. You can call Joan Michelson, or if you know Addie, you can talk to her about it. It's coming up on Sunday at the Elks Lodge, 406 Harrison Avenue in Harrison. And that's a great building. You know that place over there. Larry Bennett and Larry Kelly do a great job of keeping that place on a roll. So if you're interested in this kind of thing with the mystical world, go on out, come on over on Sunday and take a chance and have a good time. And of course, Addie thanks you as well. This is just a simple reminder. We've been putting this up on the screen the last couple of weeks, but we're adding Lyndhurst Police Department to this. The National DEA Drug Take Back takes place on the 25th of October. We know of Kearney and Lyndhurst doing this. I'm sure there are going to be other towns that do it as well, but we are certain that if you bring your unwanted medications back to Kearney and Lyndhurst Police Headquarters on the 25th of October between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., you'll be able to dispose of it properly. And one last time, just as a reminder, only pills and tablets, no liquids, no syringes, and no illegal drugs. We don't want to see anybody get arrested. But if you come with just medication to be disposed, it will be taken from you with no questions asked. Now, it's that time of year already, and leaves will be collected beginning on November 3rd. There are a couple of things that you need to be reminded of, and most importantly, even though this has been happening for a couple of years, leaves have to be in bags now. You cannot just put them out on the curb like you used to be able to do, and the sweeper would come and pick them up. They have to be in biodegradable paper bags, and you can get them at the DPW, or you could get them at different places like Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. But you're going to get a warning if you put them in the street, and the DPW is still not going to pick them up. So you're better off not even taking that chance. And you could be fined up to $500 per occurrence every time you put them out without a bag. So make sure you take care of that, okay? And then there are some instructions on the screen as well. You can call the DPW if you have any further questions. But again, remember, the most important part of all this, all the leaves have to be in biodegradable bags, and you cannot any longer put them in the street. Larry Bennett, of course, is the Elks Grand everything in Harrison, and he brought 3 of his peer leaders to the monthly breakfast at the Elks Lodge in Kearney a couple of weeks ago. And these 3 young people who you see with Larry, who is not as young as they are all peer counselors and peer leaders in the Elks Peer Leadership Program. And the work that these kids do is second to none. And the Elks generally do this all across the country, not just in Harrison, but it just happened that Larry sent me the picture, and I wanted to show you this because they're always out there doing great things, are the Elks, no matter what lodge you're talking about, whether it's Kearney Belleville or Harrison East Newark, you name it, the Elks are doing things almost all the time, and I want to thank Larry for sending this over for us to take a look at. Now, this happened, why isn't it going on the screen? Of course it's not, just bear with me for 1 second. One thing that I wanted to put up on the screen is not showing, and I don't know why that is, but just give me 1 second, I might be able to fix this right here. There it is. A couple of days ago was Ty Kearney Pink. This is the annual remembrance of breast cancer, for breast cancer. This was something that our dear friend Emma Quintana used to do with Mujeres Valientes. And Emma took a step back, and she was fortunate enough to get Ava Laudansky to take over the program. And they had a ribbon cutting, and you may see breast cancer ribbons all over the town now as a reminder of breast cancer awareness. So Ava has been doing this as part of her Girl Scout Gold project, but this is so far beyond that now, and it's just nonstop that Ava is doing so many different things for the community when it comes to breast cancer screening, breast cancer awareness, and things of that nature. So Ava, great job, as always, for what you've done there. That's Ava right in the middle with Mayor Carol Jean Doyle. They are joined by Councilman Esteves Rodriguez, that is Councilwoman DeCastro, and Councilman Theodoropoulos, and then I see Addie Boyd there, and there's a few others as well who are there. Anna Latushko, and I wish I could tell who's right behind Ava, but I can't right now, so you apologize. I apologize to you for that right off the bat, but all in all, it's always a great day when the ribbons come out, and great job, as usual, to Ava for pulling this off every single year in the way that she does. Now, folks, I want to put this up on the screen, and this is really unfortunate, but I want to tell you a quick story. The other day, I was still at home. I hadn't come into the office yet, and Captain from the Lyndhurst Police Department, Paul Haggerty, had sent me a text, and in the text he said, "We got a bad one. Check it out." And so I got to the press release, and it turns out that this man here, James Wapinski, and his wife lived in a home in Lyndhurst that can only be described as a house of horrors. There were children in the house. There were pets in the house, and the conditions were just utterly despicable and deplorable. The pets were emaciated. The children appeared to be in very unhealthy conditions, unsanitary conditions. There was dog feces in the house, and these poor kids were living there under the direction of this guy and his wife or girlfriend. They have different last names. It said wife, but I'm not 100% sure whether they're married. It doesn't really matter. But fortunately, what had happened was a relative had called and said they needed to do a welfare check at the home, and this is what the Lyndhurst Police Department came across, and it was very deeply and emotionally disturbing to the officers who had to enter that house and see what they saw. So he's behind bars now. So is his significant other. I don't know what happened to the children. I don't know what happened to the pets, but it's really mind-boggling that human beings would allow their children to live among dog feces, emaciated pets, not feed them properly, disgust and filth, and it's just such a shame. And I'll tell you what, I thank God that whoever made that call. As much as and as painful as I'm sure it was for the Lyndhurst Police Department to have to experience that and see it in front of their very eyes, at least this guy is off the streets, and he and his wife maybe will be getting the help that clearly they need very, very much. Here is this week's edition of The Observer. There were arrests made in a rash of home burglaries. You know, there was a chase the other day. You may have heard about that. That was being reported. So the KPD made some great collars in this case. Well done, KPD. As always, parade is coming up in a couple of days. So we have information about the 2025 version of the parade, where you bring your dogs, enter them into a contest. You can do all sorts of things, and there's all sorts of activities that go on during the course of the day. And then last week, Epic was recognized by Mayor Carol Jean Doyle and members of the town council. Epic was a group put together by Nell Fraga, who you see on the screen right here. And her daughter, Nicole, has Down syndrome, and she wanted to do something for parents of people who had Down syndrome. And this organization has done some just incredible work over the last couple of years. And, you know, Nicole, who's in the picture right there, just below the mayor, she's been on the big screen at Times Square every year for the last couple of years, and she's just such a loving, beautiful young lady. She's now at Lincoln Middle School, which is mind-boggling because she was just a little tyke when I first met her, and here she is growing up. And Nicole's two brothers are there, as well as their dad, and Nell in the middle. So a great organization in Kearney. And if you have a child who has Down syndrome and you've never heard of this organization, you have to do some research because there is a lot of support out there, and especially from Epic, and they do a great job. And Mayor Doyle recognized them last week for their efforts, and they also had a display of artwork and all sorts of other great things. So well done to Nell and Nicole and the family, and a great recognition indeed for the Epic group that day. Let's just kind of go around here a little bit. You got a few other things here, a few other stories that you can take a look at when you get a chance. In the back of the book, there are 2 pages of classifieds. Jason Bernstein has 3 sports stories and an athlete of the week. Check that out. But if you're looking for a place to live or an apartment, anything of that nature, you can find them in the classifieds this week. And believe it or not, that's going to do it for this edition of the Observer Live. Let me check out the chat room because it's been a few minutes. Carmen De Jesus, my dear friend, is also here with us as well. Carmen, it is always good to see you. Thank you for always being here on Tuesdays. I love you very much, and thank you so much for that. To everybody else who's here, thank you as well. We'll be back a week from today, or if any news breaks along that period of time, we will join you when it happens. But for now, that's it. From the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, Kevin Canessa signing off for now. We hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesdays. Bye-bye.